Ever notice how a simple cold seems to hit you hardest right after like a really intense period of stress?
Oh, definitely.
Like your body was just sort of waiting for you to let your guard down? Okay, let's unpack this
Okay.
because um, here's something that really grabbed me.
Okay.
Studies have shown that even something like exam stress can actually suppress the immune system. And get at this, that effect is even stronger in students who are feeling lonely.
Wow.
It really makes you think about what's going on beneath the surface, doesn't it?
It absolutely does.
Eh,
And that observation, about the interplay between stress and social connection and physical health, well, it perfectly sets the stage for the book we're diving into today.
Which is
When the body says no, the cost of hidden stress.
right.
And this isn't just another, self-help guide. It's a really compelling exploration of that profound, undeniable link between our minds and our bodies,
Yeah.
and how the constant pressures of modern life, well, they can take a real toll on our well-being in ways we often don't even realize.
Exactly. So, welcome everyone to this latest Snapbook deep dive. Think of it as your shortcut to understanding some truly vital information.
Hmm.
Grabbing the essential insights from this really important book without having to wade through hundreds of pages.
Yeah, making it accessible.
Our mission today is pretty straightforward. We want to pull out the most actionable knowledge about how this hidden stress impacts us,
Right.
giving you practical takeaways you can actually use in your own life.
Okay, so let's start with maybe the foundational concept.
Yeah, let's do it. Key insight one. The mind-body connection is real.
So modern science is increasingly confirming what, frankly, many ancient traditions have always understood.
Right.
The mind and body are deeply interconnected. They
Yeah.
influence each other in really profound ways.
Why? And the why here is interesting. Often, our rational, busy minds tend to override the more subtle signals, the intuitive wisdom coming from our bodies.
Yeah, we push it down.
Exactly. So this book aims to help us bridge that gap, to become more attuned to what our physical selves are trying to tell us.
Hmm.
Remember that example we started with, the stressed and lonely student?
Yeah,
That's a perfect illustration of this connection right there in action.
absolutely. And building on that fundamental idea, the book brings something else important to light.
Okay, which is key insight two. Hidden stressors can be more damaging than obvious ones.
What? Okay, so we often think of stress as, major life events, losing a job, a death in the family.
The big stuff.
Right. But the book argues that the chronic low-level stress we experience daily, often unconsciously, can actually be even more detrimental.
Hmm.
Think of it like a constant undercurrent of pressure and emotionally strained relationships. They're a huge contributor to this kind of hidden stress.
Why? And why is that so damaging? Well, this long-term, often unacknowledged stress can have this cumulative negative effect on our
Yeah.
physiology.
Just wears the body down.
Yeah. The book shares this really powerful story of a CEO battling terminal cancer.
Oh, right. The shark cartilage one.
Yes. He insisted on consuming this awful-smelling shark cartilage, despite how unpleasant it was, purely because he didn't want to disappoint a business associate.
Wow. That's extreme.
It's an extreme
Yeah.
example, yeah. But it really highlights how deeply ingrained this tendency can be, prioritizing external expectations over our own well-being.
Hmm.
That's a form of hidden emotional stress right there.
Absolutely. And that leads us straight into another critical understanding from the book.
Okay, lay it on us. Key insight three. Emotional repression plays a significant role in illness.
What? So, across numerous case studies in the book, the author observed this recurring theme. Suppressing emotions, pushing them down, appears to be a significant factor in the development of various illnesses.
Why? And why does this happen? Well, we might develop these patterns of denying or ignoring or just burying our true feelings, sometimes without even being consciously aware we're doing it.
Right, it becomes automatic.
Yeah. The author talks about his own experience with a hidden limp that he later realized was actually a metaphor for his own emotional repression. It really underscores how our bodies can sort of manifest these unacknowledged emotional burdens.
That's fascinating. And to understand how this emotional stress really impacts us physically, it's important to grasp this next point.
Which is key insight four. The body's physiological response to stress is nonspecific and powerful.
Okay, so basically our bodies react to any perceived threat. It doesn't matter if it's physical danger like a tiger,
Right.
or a viral infection, a chemical exposure, or even just a purely psychological worry like a deadline or relationship conflict.
Okay.
It activates the stress response. This involves releasing hormones like adrenaline and
The
cortisol.
fight or flight stuff.
Exactly why. And while this response is crucial for, immediate survival,
Yeah, you need it sometimes.
if it stays chronically activated because the stress is ongoing, it actually becomes damaging to our systems.
Ah, okay.
The book mentions the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis, the HPA axis,
Uh-huh.
as the key system orchestrating this. And what's particularly noteworthy is that psychological stressors, things like feeling uncertain or feeling like you lack control, are very potent triggers for this axis.
So our thoughts and feelings can really kickstart this physical process.
Absolutely. And the book also sheds light on the lasting impact of our early experiences, too.
Okay, key insight 5. Our earliest relationships profoundly shape our stress response.
What? This is huge. The quality of our emotional interactions with our parents or whoever our primary caregivers were during childhood, it plays a vital role in shaping healthy brain development. And specifically, our ability to manage stress throughout our lives. Disruptions in that early attachment can lead to an overactive or exaggerated stress response in adulthood.
Why? And why is that? Well, these early interactions literally lay down neural pathways.
Mm.
They become the templates for how we form relationships later and even how we perceive ourselves.
It sets the foundation.
Totally. The research on Romanian orphans, for instance, who experienced severe neglect.
Oh, that's heartbreaking stuff.
It is. And they showed abnormal cortisol levels, which really highlights the profound and lasting impact of early emotional deprivation on how our bodies regulate stress.
Yeah, it really stays with you. Now, another significant source of chronic stress the book explores is something many people might relate to.
Okay, what's that? Key insight 6. Difficulty saying no is a significant source of stress.
What? So many individuals find it incredibly challenging to set boundaries, to decline requests.
Guilty as charged sometimes.
Right. It's often due to conditioning from a young age, maybe, or just a strong desire to please others. And this can lead to taking on way too much responsibility
Yeah.
and ultimately experiencing burnout and, well, health issues.
Why? And the why behind that is often feelings of guilt, right? Or this overwhelming sense of responsibility for how other people feel, which then overrides our own needs.
Exactly. The book tells the story of Laura. After her mother's death, she took on this huge amount of responsibility and just consistently put others first. Even when her own health was suffering, she apparently struggled to turn away more guests for her B&B.
Wow.
It just really illustrates how deeply ingrained that pattern of prioritizing others can become, often at our own expense.
That really hits home for a lot of people, I think.
I think so, too. And finally, the book touches upon the powerful connection between our inner state and our physical health through this insight.
Okay, let's hear it. Key insight 7. Beliefs have a biological impact.
What? This is pretty mind-blowing, really. Our deeply held beliefs about ourselves, about the world around us, they can actually influence our physiology, our physical health.
Why? It comes back to that core idea, doesn't it? The mind and body aren't separate entities.
Not at all.
Our thoughts are emotions. They have tangible effects right down to the cellular level.
Yeah. There's the example of Angela in the book. She intuitively linked her cancer diagnosis to the intense stress of her job. It shows how our bodies can sometimes communicate these truths that our conscious minds might have been ignoring or pushing aside.
Like the body keeping score in a way.
Right. Precisely.
Wow. Okay, so considering all of this, I mean, it's a lot to take in. What's one immediate step, like one thing our listeners can actually do with this information?
That's the key question, isn't it? How do we apply this?
Yeah. So here's your actionable takeaway from this deep dive into when the body says no. Start today, like right now, to become more aware of your body's signals when you feel even mildly stressed.
Just notice.
Just notice. Take a pause maybe when you feel that tension in your shoulders or that knot in your stomach, and ask yourself honestly, what am I truly feeling in this moment?
It sounds simple.
It is simple, but it can be incredibly revealing. It's that first step towards bridging that mind-body gap we talked about.
Absolutely. And maybe that raises a valuable question for you, the listener, to consider. What are some of the subtle ways your body might already be signaling stress that you haven't been fully acknowledging?
Good question to ponder. Now, looking ahead to our next deep dive, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. What's next?
What book should we explore? Are you interested in, say, understanding the fascinating science behind how habits are formed and maybe how we can build better ones?
That's always relevant.
Or perhaps you'd prefer a deep dive into a particular historical event, something that maybe continues to shape our world today. Let us know what you'd find most valuable.
Yeah, tell us what you're curious about. Ultimately, our goal here is just to bring you insights that can empower you, help you live a more informed and hopefully healthier life.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for joining us for this Snapbook deep dive. If you found this exploration of when the body says no helpful, or if it resonated,
Hmm.
please share it with someone you know, maybe someone who's been meaning to read it or who might just be interested in understanding that powerful connection between mind and body.
Yeah, sharing knowledge is a wonderful way to help others on their own journeys of understanding. It really is.
Snap in, level up.